Got the saddest feeling nowadays that all my dreams are much too far away. Sometimes the nights got me aching, working hours in the cold. And I can't imagine how it feels to end.
Yeah, all right, that's enough of that. Welcome to WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do, and it's a salty Saturday. How y'all doing? I'm doing well. I do want to say we're going to roll out our call-in ability with the next stream. It was very nearly going to be this one, but as of, 3 minutes past the start of the show, I'm throwing in the towel on that one. Not turning on. But I'm going to ask my good friends over at the Eager Beaver, the True North Eager Beaver podcast, how the hell they stream at the same time as they're taking these calls. Because I was on their show yesterday, and their system is just so convenient. I just tried to steal it. I wasn't successful. Oh, well. How's everybody doing? Good to see you folks here. Zix, Wicked Foxy Dragon, hello to both of you. Yeah, I hope you guys were able to catch us wolfing around. I really like hanging out with those with that gang, and got to meet some more people from the old Crier Media. That was fun. Tonight on Salty Saturday, we have, and we're gonna get to be real petty today. We have Tennessee Republicans panicking over their disastrous handling of the Justins and Johnson. In fact, let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna do an intro. Let's check this puppy out. Nope, not that. Here we go. Stand by. Stand a little more by. We are doing is called live shows. Not always perfect. All right, here we go. So in Tennessee, we've had a situation. Great. We had a situation occur over. Wow. We had a situation occur over the course of the beginning of this month, where it turns out the Republicans there misjudged. They misjudged just exactly how much the nation would pay attention and how much the voters in their state would pay attention to the treatment they gave to fellow representatives who were protesting in favor of gun reform, which is a reasonable thing, I would think, considering the fact that there was just a mass shooting at a school in Tennessee. Well, it turns out it didn't go so hot, and now they're infighting over the handling of that. And let's just drink this tea, baby. Let's enjoy it, because it is delightful to watch. Check out this coverage by TYT.
The only way we move forward with some sort of unity is to call out what happened on the House floor the other night. Yes, sir. I feel like we were hung out to dry by a couple of members. And Jody, I'm just going to say it here because you signed the letter. You straight up came to me and said you were 100% where I was. And you went on the House floor and you did the opposite. Man, you hung us out to dry. And I like you personally. This is not personal. And if Brian Terry was here, I'd say the same thing to him. This would have been bad anyway, but good God, we brought the racism into it. Because
This would have been bad anyway. Oh, let's just enjoy this. This is again, by the way, the Tennessee Holler. We featured him on the show here before, and I'm delighted that now the the Damage Report is featuring some reporting by the Tennessee Howler. Great account.
she didn't stay with us.
That's the same outlet. F it. As long as we're pausing this, let's just do it proper. The Tennessee Howler is that same group that showed the Matt Walsh testimony that was so embarrassing. Really a great organization. Follow them on social media by all means.
But I need to know, and I don't want to hear why there wasn't a preponderance of evidence or an attorney. I need to know why you flipped your vote at the last minute. You didn't let them know beforehand. Giving Johnny a 15-minute heads up doesn't cut it.
So that person that's being lambasted right there had voted to expel the two Justins, but then flipped and was the one vote necessary to stop Gloria Johnson from being knocked out there. And they are furious. You hung us out to dry.
Well, listen, y'all are getting on me for voting to preserve Miss Johnson's seat, but someone came to me, a constituent, and said, listen, now that's a white woman. I understand what you're doing with these two uppity fellas, but it will break my heart if you were to use your authority to assault a white woman. Will make us look racist. Yeah, because you motherfuckers are.
You didn't give us enough warning. You said you were on it, and I'll even believe that that's true. They'd previously said that they would vote for all three. But what I love, the best part of that, and we have another video, but the money quote from that is, it was gonna be bad, but you made it worse. Follow-up question, why was it gonna be bad? Maybe because it was bad? Like, why do you think people were gonna freak out that you were throwing out two of the youngest legislators in the state? Why do you think that was going to have a negative reaction, and why is it so much worse? Now, the fact that racism has been brought into this, as we'll get into, I don't think that vote was what brought racism into it. I think it took away a little bit of your cover. I think that you considered Gloria Johnson to be a convenient sacrifice to provide some cover against accusations of racism, but you would have never been in this situation for it to be bad, let alone worse, if not for the racism inherent in the situation. Brett, what do you think?
God, I love leaked audio so much because the good guy's not the good guy in this situation. The one that voted against throwing her out did it for like the pettiest, dumbest reasons in conjunction with that was basically like, you guys didn't let me ask questions. Now, it is decent. The questions he was asking were like, hey, can I draw a line from what happened to why we're kicking her out and follow all the legal steps, is what he's complaining he didn't get a chance to really pin down. But yeah, everyone in this story sucks farts, which is my favorite segment on Happy Half Hour. Everybody sucks. They are all sitting there being like, the only way this would have worked is if we all did it together, so they couldn't single out any one of us for being the worst. And one guy steps back because he didn't like get called on. And suddenly we're able to say, you know what? The only people that got kicked out of here were young black men, and you let the older white woman stay.
What is so fitting about that is that really is how racism works for real in America. Like when it's not orchestrated, when it's not showy racism, when it's not like, oh, I'm gonna blow this whistle and some of you will know what I mean. No, that's how it really works. It ends up being that all the breaks happen to go to one group of people. Every time. It's a coin can be flipped and land either way. It just so happens to come up white. Real shameful behavior. Let's let the damage report crew just keep nailing these punks.
It's bad optics. They know it because it's so clear. And watching these guys talk about how they're saving the republic in the rest of this clip is just the weird sanctimony that has popped up and is definitely fascist, and because they're actually breaking the rules and pretending they're enforcing them, because they could have just censured these people and instead of kicking them out, which was an insane thing to do when the purpose of the protest was to protect children's lives, which is something that I thought the Republicans were all about.
Yeah, but only against illusory threats. You brought up that other video though, so why don't we move now to that, the leaked audio.
We voted, I hit the green vote because that's what I'm there for. Then we get into the floor again, and immediately the questions start coming up about the resolution. I know what she did. I know what she did, broke the rules. And I know that she deserves to be expelled. We gotta do it right.
I think the problem I'm having is if we don't stick together, if you don't believe we're at war for our republic, with all love and respect to you, you need a different job. The left wants Tennessee so bad because if they get us, the Southeast falls.
I'll tell you, I hadn't even considered Tennessee as a ripe target for left gittery. But hearing these punks be so nervous about it tells me Tennessee's a ripe target for left gittery. And according to the opposition there, if we're successful, the Southeast falls. Okay, new target, folks. We're going to turn Tennessee true blue, baby. You watch. We are going to use this. We're going to enjoy the moment. And at the very least, this bright red state is going to be one we make them fight for. Delighted to hear that they're scared. They should be, because now we're coming for you.
And it's game over for the Republic.
That is amazing. So we're in a war for the Republic against people speaking through bullhorns. It's a regular, attack on Pearl Harbor type of moment. And then also, so like they'll talk about it being like about these bigger things. Like this is about the Republic. This is about saving things. But also the left wants Tennessee. So he voted to expel them. So presumably the way that you stop the left getting Tennessee is to expel Democratic members of the legislature. Wait, I thought this was a principled stand. It seems like you just want to stop Democrats from having representation because you want Tennessee to be Republican. Like again, he is revealing what the actual motivations. It's not about the rules being broken. It's not about the bullhorn. It's wait, we have an opportunity to potentially get rid of some Democrats, even though they didn't stop to think about it for the 5 minutes necessary to figure out, wait, what happens after we expel them? Oh, they become members immediately and we dramatically raise their national platform and profile. But anyway, that's it. It was a callous political decision that they believed would increase their power, but is obviously gonna have the opposite result. Brett, final point goes to you.
It is a high school like lunch table type conversation. But on Wednesdays we wear swastikas for these little fascists. And what hilarious is that this guy Sapicki,
it's a great name for Greece, by the way.
He was he's a football player from he was on the practice squad as a punter for like the Vikings and the Bengals, which is hilarious because he's in like state legislature stuff, doing like total practice squad level like hijinks, bad news bears performances, and it really shows. I wish so. He also chose to punt on the issue of throwing out the white lady.
For more political news break.
So close to being smooth. Yeah, I'm enjoying the suffering of the Tennessee Republicans. I'm loving the fact that it would appear that Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson are now rising stars, and rightly so. They have done the kind of activism that makes a difference. Truly, it does. And they put their jobs on the line to do so. And what a payoff it had. Let me ask you something. How much good do you think they could have done in that legislature? Not ruffling feathers, just showing up and putting in their vote. Functionally, in terms of changes to laws that are made, not much. But when you're that outnumbered, you may as well take some risks. And I was delighted to see that they did, and I am betting they earned votes. That kind of behavior is delightful to see. We're going to have a look at what the Wicked community has to say in a moment. Savagander. Cortez Crimson says, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. That impression checks out. Thank you. I do try to do it distinctly different from my other southern accent, which is Virginia. But that one is basically just foghorn leghorn. Mars Falcon says, the practice squad punter is the pinnacle of footballism. Fair enough. Oh, Zick's answering about whether anybody saw me on the True North Eager Beaver podcast. Mostly it wasn't my kind of humor. That's fair. That's fair. Oh, your old pal Jake goes blue in a lot of ways, a lot of times. We had another clip, yeah, that I did want to show you. This is from a cat named Jesse Dollimore. If you're not familiar with his podcast, he's sort of I guess he's like a slightly more charismatic Farron Cousins. He's a wound up, intelligent fella. I like listening to him. Let's do a proper intro because I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to clip this. Here we go. Got a clip here from the Dollimore podcast. Not sure if y'all are familiar. Lot very Farron Cousins like in his delivery, but he tends to do some deep dives. I thought we would enjoy on this salty Saturday having a gander at Lil Dollimore talking about one of the most insane things I've ever seen on television, and that was Tucker Carlson's interview with Donald Trump. Let me give you just a little bit of context. Right now, Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson despise each other. They hate each other. Trump is aware that Tucker Carlson said over text, because of the Dominion lawsuit, what a time to be alive, that Tucker Carlson can't wait for Trump to be just gone. And he predicts it's going to happen soon. But at the same time, Tucker Carlson talks to Trump's supporters on the reg. What does this mean? This means it's required that they pretend like they're pals. And Jesus Christ, what a bizarre interview. Here's Dollimore talking about it.
This is the Dollimore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollimore. Today's video is brought to you by Private Internet Access. Information as a means of promoting their particular ideologies, but also candidates. And that's what we're seeing right now in a ramp up to 2024 with Fox News' interview last night with Tucker Carlson, which is absolutely just lies. It is an attempt to make the worst candidate possible seem like the best candidate possible with insane lies, things that are so bafflingly untrue to present as truth that it's perplexing. It is literally laughable. And it starts with Seriously. It starts with, we'll just play it. I'm sure you've seen some clips. I got the longer version of the clip that you may have seen on Twitter where Donald Trump is telling everyone that people were crying. They're, sir, oh, I can't believe I have to take your fingerprints, sir. I'm not an actor, obviously, but Tucker Carlson sits there with a straight face. Well, straight face, I don't know if that's the accurate depiction of it. It is, again, like a dog being showed a magic trick who's just mind blown at the mysticism before his eyes. The googly-eyed feather duster, Tucker Carlson, the haircut, the...
Whoa, wait a minute. Can't just let that slide by. That deserves some praise. Take your praise, brother. The googly-eyed feather duster. That's a good zing. I'm remembering that one. Good God almighty.
Smooth-skinned, soft-brained moron sitting before maybe the only other person on the planet as stupid as him, Donald Trump, asking about what was it like when you got arraigned? Tell us, Mr. President. But before we get to that, a word from today's sponsor, Private Internet Access.
Son of a gun. He got me with the double ad placement. Oh, he got me good. All right, here we go.
Again, an article of projection. Any accusation that is leveled against the left or Democrats or liberals by Republicans is almost always just an admission of guilt that the thing I'm accusing you of is something I do. And he does this relative to Joe Biden because Donald Trump said that he doesn't believe Joe Biden is going to run for president again. Let's start with the first one, which is the more laughable, that everybody was just weeping with tears at the arraignment of Donald Trump.
Mr. President, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Last week, you were in New York for this arraignment. The world watched it. You've not given an interview since. You were there, I think, 57 minutes. Tell us from your perspective what that was like.
Well, it was a horrible thing because I did nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. You look at even the pundits and the legal analysis, Greg Jarrett, all of these really talented people, they're saying he didn't do anything wrong. So that's...
Remember one thing, really important, and that's that you don't have to wear a jacket for the whole stream just because you came in with it. And the other thing, as long as I'm here, remember that Donald Trump is doing this for the people that already support him. He's usually only ever trying to communicate to those people, and he relies on others to drum up, like to get people to enter into that group. So when he says, you look at all the pundits, you and I, are not supposed to be like, wait, is that true? He knows that we will all think, what? No one I've seen is saying that. Everyone I've seen is highlighting lines in the U.S. Code of Justice that you have violated on TV with like a graphics department making it easy to understand. But remember, he's talking to a different audience. He is confident that Tucker's audience hadn't seen any of that. So this will be useful when trying to predict what their reaction is going to be like when they see some of these charges. A lot of the Fox viewers are going to feel like this came out of nowhere. They're just saying all of a sudden that he did these awful things. Your job is going to be to say, no, this is what it's been about the whole time. There are going to be some revelations, but the core of it has been telegraphed years in advance. And in fact, there was a pretty significant movement to push the Justice Department to move their lazy asses because years went by with parent crimes done in public view that simply weren't addressed. Just saying, prepare yourself for those conversations because they're coming.
Number one. Number two, they were incredible. When I went to the courthouse, which is also a prison in a sense, they signed me in. And I'll tell you, people were crying. People that work there, professionally work there, that have no problems putting in murderers, and they see everybody. It's tough place.
That have no problem putting in murderers and other black people. Really not a good guy.
And they were crying. They were actually crying. They said, I'm sorry. They'd say, 2024, sir, 2024. And tears are pouring down their eyes. I've never seen anything like those people are phenomenal. Those are your police.
Yep.
Those are the people that work at the courthouse. They're unbelievable people. Many of them were in tears or close to it. Many apologists were sorry, sir. We're sorry. They had to have me do certain things. They said, sir, I can't believe I have to ask you. I can't even believe that I have to ask you to do it. You could.
It's my hope that we're about 8 months from somebody saying, sir, put your hands against the wall and try your best without the use of your hands to spread your butt cheeks, because we're going to be searching you now. You're going to prison. I still got a little blue left in me.
See, so in one sense, it was beautiful because they get it. In another sense, it's nasty. I went to the Wharton School of Finance. They didn't teach me about that. That wasn't like
they
in
didn't
the
about the arraignment part?
That wasn't. We didn't have a class on arraignment. And, it was a sad day in many ways. And in many ways, it was a beautiful day.
All right, let's go to the chart here. Let's see how accurate this is. Did this happen? No. And your only other choice is also no. Who is gullible enough to believe this story? We watched his arraignment. We watched him people not opening doors for him. It wasn't a love fest that he would have you believe, that people are just perplexed by what is happening. Pundits are saying that it didn't even break the law. Everything's fine. Yeah. Ridiculous. Maybe more, but maybe less ridiculous than this next clip, which Donald Trump loves to be very direct in answering questions. Obviously, Donald Trump does not. He meanders, he wanders, it's word salad, it's verbal diarrhea, it's just stream of consciousness thinking that there's no filter whatsoever. So Tucker Carlson asks him a question about Joe Biden and whether Donald Trump thinks he's going to run for president again in 2024. And in the course of answering the question, by the way, it takes a minute 22 to get to the answer. Ooh. Over a minute to get to the answer. And just watch and then pay attention to what's being said and all of the insanity, and then remember the accusation that's leveled in here. We'll talk about it.
I'm very excited for this. For Salty Saturday, I try to just watch the first parts of the clips so I know generally what they're talking about. I haven't seen this part, and I really like where Dollemore is going with this, and I tend to agree, but I'm sure I'm going to have my own thoughts, because it takes Trump such a damn long time to answer the question. I'm going to let the rest of this play out. I'll see you on the other side.
Do you think Biden will stay in the race?
Look, I watch him just like you do, and I think it's almost inappropriate for me to say it, but I deal with other people. I don't see how it's possible, and it's not an age thing. They like to say, I have friends that are 88, 89, 92. Bernie Marcus, Home Depot, is 95. Smart as hell. He's sharp as he was. I mean, he's, mentally, Bernie Marcus, Home Depot, founder of Home Depot, one of the founders. I mean, I had a meeting with him a few months ago. He was 100%. I know people that built their fortunes from 80 to 90. They were always struggling, and they made a fortune from 80 to 90. A couple of people in particular. It's amazing. He's not too old. His age, I think they do the age thing because I'm 4 or 5 years behind. They say, this is a way of getting Trump. Let's go him up. But there's something wrong. I saw his answer today on television about whether or not he was going to run to a very nice guy named Al Roker. When you can't get a softer question than that. That was a long answer, talking about the eggs and the this and that. Look, I don't think he can. But say what you want. They didn't expect him to get it.
Yeah.
You know, people could say he won an election. You know, it always goes. I got the most votes of any person, any sitting president in history. I was told if I got 15 million less, I couldn't lose.
Do you think Biden's going to stay in the race? Home Depot founder, old guys making their fortune late in life, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, there is something wrong. I saw his answer the other day. It was a long answer talking about eggs and this and that. A minute 22 it took him to answer the question, accusing Joe Biden of being so mentally unequipped to do the job that he just meanders from topic to topic, talking about eggs and everything else, while he's doing the exact thing he's leveling a charge about.
I mean, it's just wild. It's just wild. I have to wonder, and there's just not enough Republicans in my life. Let me know if you have some in your life. I genuinely want a sample of the answers to this question. Do they buy this stuff? When they see Trump talking about this stuff, are they like, yeah, Joe Biden is giving really long, rambling answers that don't focus on anything in particular and barely recall the question? I have no idea how anybody who is a fan of Trump sees that and doesn't just cringe with self-aware embarrassment. Good Lord. Let's have a look at what the Wicked community has to say. Patrick's Time says Bragg in a press conference was asked why he didn't state the crime in the indictment. He was. Two really important things on that. One would be there. I mean, he did state. I don't know what to say other than the crime was the covering up. The crime Alvin Bragg is currently trying to charge is the covering up of the payments to Stormy Daniels, and the various other entities that did the same thing, like, for example, the National Enquirer. But as for the additional crime that makes that first one a felony, he doesn't have to. It can be that he simply can't prove that the crime happened. I don't think that's what it's going to be. I think what we're going to see is that later he does charge him with a different crime. Or later the federal government charges Trump with a crime that relates to that. And Bragg is simply not charging it because it's not his sandbox. But the crime doesn't have to have happened. It can be attempted and failed. Bit my tongue pretty decently there. It can be attempted and have failed. Or it could have been planned for, and he could have abandoned it because it became irrelevant, or yada, 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 yada. There's a ton of things circulating around there that aren't relevant to the core issue, which is, did Trump cover up those payments, and why did he cover up those payments? Because, and the reason for that, I guess I should stress, that changes the nature of the cover-up. It changes it from what could have been an accounting error to a crime that he was aware of. What did I saw just a little earlier? Zick says, I like Jesse. He, Texas Paul, and even John Tester all look like they should be GOP, but they're definitely not. Love them. Interesting. Andrew Woznicki, good to see you, my friend, says, I'm glad Jesse beat cancer. Good for him. Hell yeah. Mars Falcon says, nobody in history has ever done so much nothing wrong. There is nobody less wrongdoing than I, maybe ever, probably ever. I've never been in the same room, same building as wrong. Donald Trump. That makes sense. Patrick's Time says no chance Trump goes to jail. Oh, I heartily disagree. No, I take that back. I think there's a damn near 100% chance this man is convicted of jail-worthy crimes. But good point. He might not actually go to jail. Patrick's Time says, "Oh F." Well, I hope I have the right person. I may be wrong, but somebody says that they were searching for a humorous clip for me to laugh at, and now my interest is piqued. So we're gonna go look at that. Stand by. Oh, let's check out this clip. Humans Be Gone. Oh, it's by Zix. All right. We are downloading now. You know what? I might be able to get away with just playing this in the browser. Let's take a whack at that. See how this goes. Very hit and miss with the use of the browser. But it's worth a gamble. All right, pop in some pixels here. That'll be 1920 by 1080. We're going to control that audio via OBS. Get rid of the custom CSS. Looking doable. And stand by while we set up. All right. Let's record this puppy. All right, we have a suggestion from Zix. I'm delighted to see this. It is called "Humans Be Gone." Let's have a look.
This is the Dollemore Daily.
Oh God,
Jesse Dollemore.
Oh God, oh no. We're gonna try that again. Oh, there we are. All right, one more time. Mm-hmm. All right, we have a clip suggestion from Zix. I'm excited to look at it. This is our second attempt at doing it smoothly. So who's to say? Maybe we'll be successful.
Hey, humans, stay the hell away from me. Like in every facet of everything. Just leave me alone, okay? I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your problems. I don't care about your one-sided mentality, your emotional feels. I don't care if you're sad. I don't care if you're upset. I don't care if you're trying to champion some cause you feel is legit even though you didn't research it. I don't care about your perspective on basically anything unless you are an actual intelligent human being that can logically process all sides of a particular situation. And since I've met about 3 of those in my life, just playing the percentages, I'm gonna kind of assume most people are just stupid. Between all the misinformation people just think is fact, to all the weird, bickering, insignificant topics everyone seems to complain about, you guys are as toxic as a freaking chemical pool. If not...
Now, to be fair, this squirrel has only probably lived for a couple of years. So, I mean, 3 humans in a couple of years. But he's met a lot of humans. Fair enough.
More so. And you don't even realize it. You want to know why everyone's so miserable? Because you're freaking miserable. You keep spreading miserable crap all the time. You guys are just spreading toxic nonsense every single day. And everyone else is ingesting it 24/7. And then everyone wonders why they gotta be on 37 different prescriptions to be able to cope with life. Because everything's so bad and the world is such a terrible place. You made it that way. It's your fault. It's no one else's fault. It's you. You. But nobody wants to take responsibility. Nope. Gotta blame this party. Gotta blame that party. It's this group of people. It's that group of people. It's that person down the block. It's that person upstairs. It's not you at all. Nope. You never do anything wrong because the world revolves around you. And if they're not doing what you're doing, then they must be wrong. Because you saw it on the internet. Generally, I don't care enough about people to even want to help them anymore, okay? I used to be about the needs of the many, right? But statistically, there's only a handful of smart people out there. Those are the ones I actually worry about. Everyone can go, bungee jump into lava pits for all I care. Makes a great selfie. Go for it. I don't care. I don't care about your human crap, okay? In this day and age, we should all be above that. But people still want to drag their knuckles. Hey, I don't care. I'm not going to even... Whatever. Go play in fire. I'm not being a liar. I don't care what happens to the bulk of humanity. I'm just worried about the intelligent people, because those are the ones that are going to do something on this planet. Not the normies, who are boring.
God damn. That squirrel let us have it. Good God almighty. Yeah, well done. It was a good clip. All right, Wicked community, what's up with you? Bad faith, says Mars Falcon. Ooh, I see. We're talking about something else. Oh no. Wicked Foxy Dragon, I'm about to be salty. Oh boy. Yeah, I think I recognize that cartoon squirrel. Help me out. Where is that? That's Foamy? I feel like that whole art style is very reminiscent of Invader Zim. Is that from the either someone inspired by that or the artist themselves that originally did Zim? I don't know. Yeah, let me know. Well, I'll tell you what, gang. I'm gonna try. Let's see here. I'm gonna try something awful ballsy. Ooh, Wicked Foxy Dragon says, yepper. Will Press. Yeah. Interesting. That's awesome. I'm delighted that they're still out there making content. I'm going to try something that I hope you all dig. Haven't premiered it on the show yet. But I did have a moment with the gang from True North Eager Beaver that I wanted to show you. Hoping I can get some of your feedback on it. Thinking of inviting these cats onto the Wicked stream one of these days, like live. Let me know what you think if you want to do something like this. But this is when we were hanging out together on very early this morning. Might have had a glass or two. We were discussing a reliable way to predict what Donald Trump is going to do or what he has done. And God help me, I honestly think this is a way you can predict Donald Trump's behavior. Let me know what you think. I'll see you on the other side. Well, I did think it would load a little faster. Hey, there we go.
That is just weird.
I mean, there's a rule with Trump, whereas if it's funnier, and by the way, we're going to get to where I think his ex-wife is buried. If it's funnier, it's what happened. You can accurately predict the future by being like, what's the funniest, most evil thing this person could do? like rob children, then he did it. You'll find it. It's true.
Yeah.
I promise you, they buried his ex-wife on one of his golf courses. I promise you, they're hiding evidence in her car.
I am
100%.
I'm convinced that a lot of those.
But that was for a tax break.
Archives is looking for are right there with her.
Well, didn't his grandfather own a saloon in Whitehorse at one point in time? Or no, do you own a brothel or a saloon? I can't remember.
I hope it's a brothel.
I'm gonna guess brothel.
Please tell me it's a brothel.
That's funnier. So that's probably what it was.
That would be on brand.
No black horses were allowed.
Oh God.
Okay, I love saucy Josh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna.
This is why my corporation will never know who I am.
Yeah, because and you know why, right? It's not because of necessarily what you say. It's just because if they associate your name with what you say, it's like, oh yeah, we know what he's thinking.
You get me too far, I'll tell you exactly what I work for, but it's not happening tonight.
It's like we know why he's smiling to himself. We know what he's up to.
I got it here from the CBC. Here, I'll throw it up on the screen. Check it out. You guys will love this. Donald's grandfather ran a brothel during the war. Yeah, from the Canadian press.
So when he was with Stormy, he was recuperating his investment?
Wow.
Is that the same grandfather guy that got kicked out of the German army for desertion or something?
Yes. Yeah, that's the guy. The same one.
So
he's like a Simpsons character.
It's like it's like this. So wait a minute. So him like trying to get, they had a brothel before, and now he's like some kind of like weird dictator, white supremacist reparations type thing. Like what the hell? That is just weird.
I mean, there's a rule with Trump, whereas if it's funnier, and by the way, we're going to get to where I think his ex-wife is buried. If it's funnier, it's what happened. You can accurately predict the future by being like, what's the funniest, most evil thing this person could do? Like rob children? Then he did it. You'll find it. It's true.
Yeah.
I promise you, they buried his ex-wife on one of his golf courses. I promise you, they're hiding evidence in her car.
I am
100%.
I'm convinced that a lot of those.
But that was for a tax break.
Archives is looking for are right there with her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the letters from Tim are right there with her.
It would be yes. It would be
You know
funnier
it.
to be a tax break and also evidence is there.
One day that like I have
Legs.
pictures of him like at 3:00 in the morning, like sitting by the hole like this, like with a cheeseburger and a taco bowl and a couple of Diet Cokes, like this, just reading the letters by the light, like this, and then stuffing it back in the coffin.
I'm going to go farther. It would be funnier if they made Eric dig the grave. So that is probably what we're going to find out happened.
It'd be funnier if he made Trump dig the hole so he can finally get an actual hole in one.
Oh,
Going after that golf game.
Just roll him right in.
Sorry.
Roll Trump right into the hole.
Did he make Tiffany and Eric dig the grave? Those are his two.
You know what the thing is?
Yeah.
Right? Tiffany's the lucky one, right? Number one, and Eric doesn't know he's the lucky one because Dad doesn't care about him. It's like this is Eric. I know you're trying hard, but this is actually a good thing.
Well, and the rumor is Barron Trump, his father is not Donald Trump. It's Slovenian or Slovenian basketball player. Because Barron Trump is like 6'9" and he's only like 15 or 16 years old. And he looks strikingly like this Slovenian basketball player that Melania knew.
Oh,
that's
my
the rumor.
God.
That's the rumor.
What's done?
And I was like, I thought that somebody was making it up. And they're like, well, no, that he's a 7-foot basketball player. And when you put Barron's face beside his, it's like, oh, there's a striking resemblance. They Barron a striking resemblance.
No,
Okay.
Donald. I do. That is absolutely your son. Yes. Yeah, more sparkly.
he inherited the looks from his mother, and he's going to inherit the money from his father. Yeah.
Father.
If it follows, man, if it's funnier, and that is definitely funnier, I bet we're going to find out it's true. Like the day after Donald Trump goes, they're going to be like, by the way.
You know what? I'm hearing Kanye in my head right now. 18 years, and on the 18th birthday, found out he 8 years. I say she a gold digger.
So fitting.
No, broke.
So fitting that it ends with Kanye.
How do these people
Melania,
how do they do this?
Here. Melania Trump's son Barron's height sparks paternity speculations, and it's a Russian basketball player, actually, not Slovenian. And
of course,
that is somehow funnier. I don't know why, but it is
probably Putin's secret son that we never know he had. Wait a minute, he has a daughter.
There's not a Russian over 6 feet.
God, I hope he becomes a communist. Oh God, I hope so.
So in 2021,
rebel against your family, become a communist. Make Bernie Sanders your best friend. Drive Dad crazy. You want to get your will? You want to get your share of the Barron. If you're listening, you want to get your share of the will quickly? Become best friends with Bernie Sanders. Dad's ticker won't be able to take it. You'll be rich within 3 years.
It'll actually explode. His chest will actually explode. It'll be
You've seen Alien?
Goddamn hilarious. Yeah.
It'd be like all the triple burger American cheese, just like just flowing slowly, right? It's thick.
I could see Alien, a little mini Roy Cohn coming up.
That's the aliens.
I can end you.
So what's the American psyche? Is it in a state of shock now? A state of like, who knows? A state of forgetfulness? A state of hope?
I would love to know what you guys think about this. Yeah, that's right. I'm still here. Just for the record, I gave my best answer, but I'm not sure. Whether you're from America or not, what do you think the American psyche is like these days? But let's finish this clip. It's amazing. We're not there yet, believe it or not. We're not at like the realization that this is all real yet. The right wingers are just like, well, get ready to get laughed out of court. And the left wingers are all like, it's like, it's happening, baby. It's happening, which is awesome. But everybody is expecting to see very different things. And I don't think this is going to go like OJ. I think this is going to go exactly how you think it's going to go.
Oh, yes.
And at the other side of it, I'm betting, I'm rolling the dice big time on this. I'm betting that because it's so damn interesting, even the right wingers are going to watch this one.
Yeah.
So they're going to see what happens.
I'm hoping that he's vain enough that he'll want to take the stand. I know he probably won't, because apparently, and this is one comment I made about him, because everybody thinks that he's like complete. Oh yeah. Boy. Luka Doncic.
That's one of the guesses. He was 6'6" when he was 13.
That's way closer than the Trudeau Castro one.
Yeah.
Way closer.
Wow.
Because I don't know exactly what this is supposed to be, but on the right is Vladimir Putin, on the left is Barron Trump, I guess, because they're not both Putin, are they?
Well, you know, I always wondered if Melania was the one that was put by his side to make sure that he stayed in line.
Well, that's the other rumor that he's actually Putin's kid, but Putin's like 5'6" or 5'5", so I'd rule that out.
Isn't he 5 foot? Isn't he 5'4"? I thought he's really.
Yeah, he might be
short.
5'4". Yeah, he's not a tall man at all.
When you see anything with Putin and in line, you go in line.
And look here.
Stop laughing. It's not right. You can't do that. Stop.
It's a very big kid.
That's also what Ricky Gervais does.
He is huge.
He's
do you
huge.
think, honest to God, do you think Donald Trump knows? Do you think he's like, wait a minute? Wait a minute.
Do you
Honestly,
think we know
like,
it? Do you
But I
think
mean,
he knows
it's like
anything?
in
He
one
knows
way,
nothing.
No, that
Well,
Barron Trump isn't his kid.
but here's the thing, right?
I mean, I've just assumed he's not at this point.
In one way, I assume he would know, but I mean, how like given how much he cares about his children, really, how would we know if he knew really?
Can
I
I
who are
bring
you
up the
again?
one story? Can I bring up the one story that he covered up?
Sure.
He paid his door person to cover up a story, and nobody talks about it anymore.
Apparently, that one particularly was debunked, which is why
it's been debunked. Yeah. That's why it's been dropped.
But it's all part of the whole David
But
Becker.
why would he pay money for it?
Well, he tried to screw
$33,000. Why would you pay money if it was not real? Like,
Because
who
you're giving him way too much credit.
Yeah.
I'm sure he thought it was real.
Could be.
That's true.
I'm sure he thought it was real.
See, that's what I agree with.
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah.
The only way it's
he's like, yeah,
impossible-
probably.
It's impossible to underestimate Trump. It's possible to get wrong a prediction about him, but only because you've overestimated his decency.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that actually, like, because if he's actually heard it and he actually convinced that it's true, and if the whole point is catch and kill, whether it's true or not, you don't want the story true or not to be pairing. So you just pay $33,000 is a small price to pay,
Sure,
especially if the guy actually does legitimately believe it, because then he'll go out and tell everyone, and he will sound convincing like it's true because he actually does. So it's like,
But
yeah,
I mean-
you know what, you got to shut that down.
Yeah.
Trump might have believed it. Like, Trump might have been like, David, I got into it bad with this one, David. Like, he genuinely might have believed that was his illegitimate kid. It turns out it wasn't,
but only because he's like put his like paintbrush in so many damn wells that he can't remember whether or not that one is because it's certainly not.
He's been snorting Adderall for 30 years,
did I do
banging just
something with her?
anything.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be
I think it's the KFC. It's
We
not
better
the
be sure.
Adderall.
Great. Thank you for the reminder about sound. Patrick's time. Thank you, folks. Yes, I see that. Patrick's time has I'm getting the flood now at the slight delay. Has said something which is like shining the Jake signal into the clouds. And we're going to address it, because I think this is an important thing to talk about. Patrick's Time says a Friday statement by released by his press service suggested I can't pronounce that Russian name. Suggested it's time to declare victory and focus on fully establishing Russian control over the occupied territories of Ukraine. He also says billions have been wasted in Ukraine. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Why not? Okay, let's address America's interests in Ukraine from the most selfish perspective. Let's just say you're a miserable prick that doesn't care that Russia invaded Ukraine. You'd have to be a miserable prick to think that it's fine for Russia to invade Ukraine, but let's just assume that's who you are. Let's just assume you only care about the health and well-being of the United States and its citizens, and you don't give a damn about the murdered Ukrainians. First of all, you're a bad person. You should feel bad, and there's a spot in hell being warmed up just for you. But America assisting Ukraine is still in your best interest. Yes, you piece of shit. So here's why. As Bo of the Fifth Column puts it, international diplomacy is the card game where everybody's cheating. The fact of the matter is, Russia's not our friend. Russia's our competition. They have been since the Cold War. They continue to be. They are one of 3 countries which are real worried about each other. It goes United States, Russia, and China. Both the United States and China benefit from Russia being stuck in this war. Every dollar, you say we wasted billions in Ukraine. Every dollar we spend helping Ukraine not get taken over by Russia is the equivalent of multiple bucket loads of dollars we would have to spend weakening Russia in other ways. If you wonder why we don't dip into our own supply of gasoline if we can possibly help it, that's because we are looking forward to a future where one day the whole world might be running out of gasoline. And powering our vehicles, our military vehicles, which run off gasoline of all kinds, all flavors of that horrible substance, that'll require us to have a reserve. If we want to still be able to fight, that'll require us to have a significant reserve. Russia is bleeding itself to death fighting Ukraine. So no, billions have not been wasted. Have not been wasted in Ukraine. Even again, if you're such a piece of shit that you don't care about the people of Ukraine, even then, it's still a good thing from your terrible, awful, shameful perspective. It's even a good thing from your perspective that America is helping Ukraine. What you should be, in fact, rooting for is for America to continue just trickling in help like it's been doing. Giving him just enough not to get taken over, but not enough to, send Russia packing. To not give them planes, for example, but only give them ground fighting ability. That is in your best perspective. What's in my perspective? What's to my benefit from my perspective? Because I have something that it's called, let me see if I can remember, a soul. Because I want Russia out of Ukraine because they are invading another country to try to take it over, because they are imperialist scum, because they're villains, because Vladimir Putin is an insane dictator who deserves to be booted out. What's in my interest is that we give them a ton of weaponry, that we give them everything we possibly can so that they can boot the Ruskies out. And that, believe it or not, will be cheaper. It'll be cheaper because the war will be shorter. So actually, to your point about wasting billions in Ukraine, I agree with you. We haven't given enough fast enough because we're playing this in the old way. We're doing the old arms race, where we want Russia to just exhaust itself fighting an eternal war with Ukraine. So yes, we are in agreement. I think we've wasted billions by not giving billions in terms of equipment up front. To your other point, what you read was Russian propaganda, and what you fell for was Russian propaganda. And I suspect you're the kind of person that really easily falls for propaganda. If you have been following the war at all, then you will be aware that Russia ain't exactly killing it, and they're about to have to contend with the mothering Abrams tank, son, and a hell of a lot of Bradleys which have tow missiles on them. So even if you think Russia will win eventually because you're, dumb, you will have to acknowledge the fact that this guy who just put out this press release is clearly lying. They clearly either don't know what they're talking about, which seems unlikely, or they're trying to get the dumbest people in the world to believe that Russia really is about to consolidate its victory. And that even though they've been basically getting knocked around by a bunch of Eastern European peasants up until this point, they're somehow going to consolidate their victory after those peasants climb into Abrams tanks. Your opinions are bad and you should feel bad. This is Salty Saturday, and I hope y'all are enjoying it. Let's see what the Wicked audience has to say. I went off there a little bit. Patrick's Time says, one estimate by analysts from the Central Intelligence Agency. Quick question before I read any further. Why are you privy to the analyst's opinion from the Central Intelligence Agency? Just consider that within your own soul before I read the rest. Okay. Put the embezzled funds at $400 million last year, at least. Russian news agency TASS reported, citing U.S. journalist Seymour Hersh's. Okay. All of the news in Russia at this point is essentially Fox News, which is to say they serve a political party, and that is Vladimir Putin's political party. If you look at Putin, he's done essentially what Trump would do if given the opportunity, which is he's made it illegal to report. Sorry, I'm reading other comments because they're more interesting. He's made it illegal to basically say anything bad about him. So if you're getting your information from a Russian news agency, what you are getting is bad information, and you should be aware of that because they're lying to you, just like Fox is lying to you. Mars Falcon said, now the chud is just spamming. Look, here's the thing. Every time, whether it's a like or a dislike, whether it's something mean or positive, whether it's something that's well-informed or not, every single comment boosts the algorithm of this stream a little bit. So by all means, keep the debate going. Andrew Woznicki said, don't be too hard on Patrick, Jake. I'm sure he can give out the hate, but he can't take it. Yeah, I should be nicer. But the thing is, he's talking about Ukraine. I just can't stand a whole country getting bullied. Oh, good. Woznicki gave me a pass. He says, nah, just kidding. Give it to him. Patrick's Time says, Oliver Stone did documentary Ukraine on Fire in 2017. I would be fascinated to look at that. Wicked Foxy Dragon says, LOL. Jake, I got jokes from time to time. Patrick's Time says, you don't trust Hirsch. I don't trust anything that the Russian news agency said Hirsch said. Case in point, on this stream, I could say one thing I'm strongly against is people who say I like diddling kids, and then the Russian news agency would clip out just part of that where it cuts to me going I like diddling kids, and then cuts back, and they'd be like, here's Jake saying the thing. That's what they do, and then folks who want to believe bad things about country A because the person they worship said country A is bad will listen to what country B's propaganda news agency said and will then, repeat it. And that's how misinformation happens. Leon Chevalier says, if Ukraine falls, we all fall. Yes. Yeah. Ukraine has basically, in my opinion, taken over the United States' role as the leader of the free world. That was a mantle we claimed for ourselves, admittedly. But if you take such an obligation seriously, what does it mean? It means the country others look to show what the fight for freedom looks like. What a people who truly believe in freedom do. And yeah, that's Ukraine today, baby. And as someone who considers himself a proud member of the free world, I'm 100% behind him. And look, I'm going to, Patrick, you stuck around despite the fact that I let you have the business quite a bit here. So, hey, Wicked community, let's dial down for a second. the man stuck around despite getting quite a bit of flack. Let's acknowledge that, and let's reward that a little bit. Look, man, real talk. No matter how much pundits like Tucker Carlson or even little guys like your old pal Jake, no matter how much we talk about the details here and there, the important thing is pretty simple. Why did Russia invade Ukraine? Why did they do it? Ukraine was not a threat to them. Now, Vladimir Putin might say, I've got all kinds of reasons, things I think might have happened. But did we not learn anything from Iraq? Did we not learn anything from the last 20 years? It's not another country's right to make an assumption about a country and then try to take it over. Can't do that. There's no place for that in the 21st century. Shame on America for having started that trend, frankly. But that doesn't mean it's okay. It's not okay. And no matter how you might want to chop that up and say, well, look, but maybe Ukraine could have done this, or maybe this was going to go this way or that. There's dead civilians. People lost their lives, man. And I know it seems like it's far away. It is far away. But in the age of the internet, you can't deny what has happened. You can't deny that these people had lives, these people had families, and they're dead now. Because Vladimir Putin decided that it was in his interest to invade Ukraine. Not even as an exercise should you entertain at all seriously the notion that Russia has some right to violate the borders of another country and just take it. To kill people at will. That's murder. Doesn't matter if you're an individual, doesn't matter if you're a whole country. When you engage in unprovoked violence and somebody dies, that's murder. And you should treat it like that. This has been WYCD Wicked, and I'll tell you, things got deep, but I sure did enjoy hanging out with y'all today. I hope you will consider giving me a subscribe if you think I've earned it. Share the stream if you think it's of value to others. And the next one, God help me, the next one is going to have a call-in feature because I'm just going to throw in the towel and I'm going to go beg Grizz and Beaver to explain to me how they set theirs up so that I can do I can just mooch off it and do the exact same thing because it's a very good system. I hope you enjoyed the stream tonight. This has been WYCD Wicked. My name's Jake.